Eric Nicky, we really just wanted to look at the impact of Steinberg, his legacy, as he clears up the big question about whether or not he was going to run again. Of course, we know there have already been people who've thrown their names in the race even prior to this announcement. So there was a lot of focus on Mayor Steinberg's future plans and whether or not he was in fact going to seek a third term.
It's now the season for me to do other things that hopefully will help people.
Thursday in City Council chambers, Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg made it official. He will not seek a third term.
Do you solemnly swear?
Steinberg was first elected mayor in 2016. He had previously served in the state assembly and on the Sacramento City Council.
You don't get to pick your time picks you.
His time leading Sacramento has coincided with transformational economic development in parts of the city, a global pandemic, a humanitarian crisis in the form of homelessness, and racial justice struggles. About a year into his term, Sacramento police killed Stephon Clark.
It created days and days of a public protest and really chaotic protests within the council chambers, and that was kind of an omen of things to come.
In an editorial this morning, Sacramento Bee's Marcos Breton calls Steinberg a consequential leader during difficult times.
I would easily put Darrell Steinberg at the very top of local elected officials.
Breton has been a journalist in Sacramento for over 30 years, covering half a dozen mayors.
The big criticism of him is that he overpromises, for example, on homelessness. And I think what he discovered was that the city and the region were not equipped to deal with the humanitarian crisis, and moving the bureaucracies of the city and the county proved to be a job that was too big for any one person.
Steinberg was reelected overwhelmingly in 2020. Still, his popularity has not been universal.
He had people show up at his house, vandalize his house, shout terrible things.
Breton notes that Steinberg seems to remain positive through highs and lows, always sharing a hopeful outlook on Sacramento's prospects, as he did during today's announcement.
I have nothing but great feelings and hopes and beliefs for the future of this city.
I would predict that Darrell Steinberg will be more appreciated when he's out of office, and when a new person comes in and people can make the comparison and realize what a difficult job that is.
But not just yet.
I got 18 months to go, and we got a lot of work to do.
So Mayor Steinberg joked that this is not an epitaph, but while many people had been asking him what his plans are, to be clear, he still has a good amount of time left to still act as the mayor of Sacramento. And there are, of course, the priorities that he's laid out when it comes to economic development, homelessness, saying those things are going to continue to be quite important to him. In terms of what he does next, he did seem to close his chapter as a local elected leader and said he's looking towards statewide office. He was asked about whether or not he would seek out the job as Attorney General, whether he would run for office. He said that was a possibility. And of course, we know he has started the process to apply to be considered for a judge appointment within the state of California. Reporting from City Hall, I'm Carmen Dickerson, Fox 40 News.